Well, here's the unmistakable figure of Ian Wright. So good, of course, they named him 3 times. And Righty, we're nearly a third of the way into the Premiership season now, and boy, has it been a good one. Very unpredictable. Put your eyes onto your crystal ball and tell me, if you can, how's it going to end up in May?
Well, you can never write off Man United. I'm absolutely delighted that Arsenal at the moment, as we sit here, they're 4 points clear. And whether or not their squad can hold up through those months, the January, February, March, when you really need to beat the Man Uniteds, Chelseas and Man Cities of this world to finish off a campaign. You know, it's been a brilliant season. You can never write off Man United, like I say. Arsenal having a great season. It's been a long time coming. You know, they do this all the time. Every year they're in and around it, but then they fade away at those crucial times of the season, right down in February, March, where Man United gets strong. Chelsea got the experience. You know, they've got the experience. They're not quite firing. None of their strikers are firing, apart from Lukaku, and he's at Everton. But then you look at Spurs. I thought they'd be doing a lot better than they're doing right now. You know, they're only 2 points off the top 4, but you don't see a lot of confidence in their team. And then you got to look at even Everton. You got to look at Southampton. You got to look at those teams. And you know, if I had to put
Man City, don't forget.
Of course, Man City. You never write Man City. I think they've got the best squad in the league, but they can't pick up points away from home. So you know what I mean. Those are the kind of like things that's happening this season where I didn't see that coming. Man City. I would have never seen Man City losing against Cardiff and things. I wouldn't have seen West Brom beating Man United at Old Trafford. You know, Villa beating Arsenal at the start of the season was one of the best things that could have happened for Arsenal, because I don't think, if that doesn't happen, I don't think he buys Ozil, because I don't think he would have felt the pressure that he was feeling. And so when you get teams like Southampton through Pochettino, who's done brilliant, Everton with Martinez, who's done brilliant, and then, you know, Spurs with the money they spent, that's like 7 teams, that, apart from the top 4, that can be in and around it. Now, we know that it's going to most probably come down to the usual suspects, and if somebody pushed me on it right now, you'd have to go with United because of the experience that they've got in their squad. City's form's not good enough. Arsenal could get a couple of injuries to a couple of key players, and then that would be them. And you know, you have to look at United. You know what I mean? You have to look at United. Just
one thing, as a great striker yourself, Giroud's doing a pretty good job so far. Big ask though. So ask him to play 50, 54 games. If they were to get a big name striker in January, do you think that might make the difference?
I think that they do need one, whatever happens. I think that Giroud is making a proper stake as a top player at Arsenal. And I know he's the only one at the moment, but the way he holds the ball up, I saw flashes of it last season, and he did have a pretty good goal return. But because you had different strikers, Benteke and Michu and people like that, Lukaku, last season they were scoring goals, and for some reason Giroud weren't getting a lot of headlines in respect of what his return was in his first season. This season he looks even more comfortable. His hold-up play is brilliant, and he's scoring goals as well. Yes, Arsenal do need another striker, but then most of the teams do. I think Giroud needs help rather than someone to come in and take his place. Now, it would depend on who Arsenal sign. Like you're talking about Benzema. If Benzema comes in, then he's got a place. So then what happens to Giroud? He's been doing pretty well. So, you know, it comes down to your own professional attitude and knowing that I'm going to try and stake a claim for this spot in this team. Whoever they bring in, I've got to try and bring my best. But 50-odd games, like you mentioned, for one striker, the pressure that he's going to be under to deliver is too much, and he does need help.
Okay, I'm going to force you now, Righty. Okay, you've said United, but 4 teams make the Champions League. A lot of teams are trying to get in there. Who's your top 4? In any order.
I didn't even mention Liverpool. You know, I should have mentioned Liverpool as well, so I'll just throw them in now. But I'm going to go for the usual suspects. I don't know what order, but you know, I'm going to go Man United, Man City, Chelsea, and Arsenal again. You know, Southampton are doing brilliant. Liverpool are doing great. Whether they can see that off, and finish it off and get in the top 4 in a season so unpredictable, you can see so many things happening. But I'm going to go with the usual suspects.
It'll be very interesting to find out.